friends this whole time. Summertime skipping rocks so innocent. I never thought I'd ever hold your hand, but there's something in the sunset feels different this time. There's a feeling, if you feel it, baby, I don't wanna hide. We don't gotta stay friends forever, we can cross that line together. Find love, baby, never say never. After all this time, I just want to take a step in a new direction. I wanna tell you what I failed to mention. We can fly a couple of birds of a feather. We don't gotta stay friends forever. We can give this whole town something to talk about. We don't gotta pretend, don't gotta dance around it, no.
Trust the developers, trust the realtors, trust the real estate agents, most in the great work of the community. So friends, let us all welcome our speaker for tonight.
About your sweet smiles, just different this time. So baby,
do I sound better now? Okay. Allow me to not to wear my mask. Okay. Anyway, I have my panangga. According to Governor Gwen, this is effective. Hopefully. Okay? Now, man, are we excited tonight?
Yes.
Huh? How is everyone? That's mine. How is everyone?
Right.
Huh? Okay.
Hallelujah.
Tonight is actually a very exciting night because for the very first time, we're going to announce to you one of the biggest promo offers of Filinvest in the history of Amalfi. In the history of Amalfi. Okay? I'll give you a hint. Even if you pay spot cash for this project, Filinvest will only give you 8% discount. That's all. And that is for spot cash. But tonight, there's something very unbelievable that's happening. We just learned this yesterday. In fact, it's not supposed to be launched yet nationwide, but we are the first one to know about this, and this is already up, and it's already implemented starting tonight, just in time for our investors. Okay? So this is something exciting that we're going to present to you. But before that, allow me to talk to you first some few backgrounds about this project. Okay? I know that right now, probably now is not the best time to think about spending. No? I bet you will agree with me. It's pandemic, so people are on the lookout. They're not really spending that much. They only spend if there's really a need to spend. For one, pandemic is really like freezing all the money circulation in the market right now. And people are on a wait-and-see position. Okay? Whether to buy or not to buy, to invest or not to invest, to bring out their cash or not to bring out their cash. At the same time, the pandemic is also a time for us to be very cognizant and observant about the things, the opportunities that we could grab. Of course, there's always two sides of a coin. To many, the pandemic speaks of something heavy, something not so encouraging. But to a certain few, the pandemic is also the best time to capture big opportunities that you cannot find if there's no pandemic. Always believe that in every big problem like pandemic, there is also a big opportunity at the same time. That is the law of equilibrium, the law of balance, isn't it? In every problem, there's an opportunity. So in our group, we wanted to really follow that principle because that is what wisdom is telling us. Every time there's a problem, do not look at the problem, look at the opportunity. And so we did. And would you believe, during the pandemic, it's also when our group closed the biggest sales in the history. We closed more than 200 billion for one project, Amalfi, alone in a single month. Why? Because we were able to identify the opportunity during the pandemic. And what is that? There will be offers during the pandemic that can never be offered outside the pandemic. And if you have the money to invest right now is a perfect time for you to use that money and grab the perfect opportunity to buy. Okay? So, tonight, we will discuss all the best and right reasons why we should ponder on investing in real estate before we will even regret not buying right now during the pandemic when the time comes. Okay, so what are these things that we need to know? As a backgrounder, I was born to a lawyer who is in charge of all foreclosures of one of the biggest banks before. And he was in charge of foreclosures, therefore he's a lawyer, therefore all foreclosures, all clients who are delinquent approach him. His clients tells him, attorney, please don't foreclose my property. Buy it instead. Anyway, it's only 25 pesos. At least I can also earn something out of the property instead of foreclosing it. And I don't lose 100% of the value. 25 pesos. Can you imagine? Where's that place? That is a place in Opon. You know how much Opon is right now? You add how many zeros? Because it's already 250,000 from 25 pesos per square meter. Okay? That was when we don't have any bridge yet linking Cebu and Mactan. Who would even know there's going to be 3 bridges right now linking Cebu and Mactan? You never know. But if had my father known about it probably a long time ago, he would have invested in that property for 25 pesos. So that's the purpose of why we're here. We want to inform you of what's about to happen 5 to 10 years down the line, so you know how to position yourself as early as now. What's going to happen 5 to 10 years down the line, not something that is still being planned, but something that's already being implemented as early as now. It's already in place. It's already starting to be developed. And if we don't know about all these things, probably we will not have that excitement to invest. Okay? That's one thing. Another thing that we would like to discuss with you tonight is to give you some comparatives. In case you are planning to really grab certain real estate investment opportunities right now, we want to give you comparatives. Which one is better? Okay? Without any bias. Because we in Philippine Access, we are for investors. We are not for developers. We are for investors. And if we give our investors the perfect service, naturally, developers will also appreciate the outcome because we will be closing sales for that ideal developer. Okay. In this case, there will be 4 reasons why you will be buying. First, return. We all buy properties because it has the highest rental rate. That's an example. Normal return, if you invest in condos, for example, pays between 4 up to 7%. So if you get 8, it's already high. Or 9, that's already very good. If you get 10, all the better. Most investors, you will hear them saying, I will be happy if I get 7. And that is true. Because what is your option? You invest in bonds, for example, you get average 5%. Stocks is very volatile. Treasury bills, it's about 5%. Put your money in time deposit, that's less than 2%. So what's your option? You'll be happy if you get 7. Real estate gives you 4 to 7. Not all properties will give you 7. Some properties will give you 4. Some will give you 5. Compute your ROI in Vida, that's 5.3. Compute your ROI in Robinsons, that's 6. Compute your ROI for Amalfi, it's 12. As we speak. So, this is an example of comparatives. We will guide you based on objective data. Second, which condo right now has the highest increase in property value? Of course, investors would want to buy pre-selling projects. Why? Normally, if you buy pre-selling projects, what are pre-selling projects? These are projects that are not yet existing. If you buy pre-selling, Japanese will tell you, oh, only in the Philippines, very ridiculous. Buyers buy something that is not existing. In Japan, if you buy properties, it's already complete. Only in the Philippines, buyers are buying condos that will be delivered 2 years, 3 years from now. Why is that? Simple. Because they know that the moment they buy pre-selling projects, they are buying it at introductory price. 1 year from now, it will increase by an average 10%. Okay. Second year, another 10%. Third year, another 10%. I would be happy already. Why? Because my money is increasing by 10%. It's even higher than any other one. So investors will buy properties because they know the value of the property will increase. But what if I tell you? There are projects that are not pre-selling. It's in fact ready for occupancy that are still increasing by more than 10%. And what is that? Amalfi. You try to compute the increase in property value of Amalfi. I'm going to give you the data. 8 years ago, Amalfi was still at 4.2 million. Now Amalfi is 8 million. And still rising.
The last time, the price was only 7.
Please take note. Why am I saying Amalfi is still rising at 8 million? Because Amalfi sits in SRP. SRP has now the highest increase in property value all over Cebu. You compute for the increase in property value in Ayala, that's about 80% over the last 15 years. Or in IT Park, that's about 60% over the last 10 years. These are high because every property that involves huge amount of investment is sure to increase in property value. But what about SRP? SRP right now, as we speak, is increasing its price every single year by 129%. Can you imagine that? So if you're able to buy a land here in SRP, your money doubles every year. It increases by 129% per year over the last 9 years. Can you imagine that? Why? Why is SRP the highest when it comes to incremental property value right now? Because all over Cebu, it's only SRP that has 4 of the biggest property developers investing in big ticket projects. You go to Ayala, it's only Ayala. You go to North Reclamation Area, it's only Hong Kong land. But here in SRP, you have Filinvest, SM, Ayala, and Robinsons all in one place. And I will picture you what is the master plan of all of these projects. So you can imagine how SRP will become once all of these projects are completed. SRP will be the next modern Makati of the fashion global in the Philippines. And if you will know, surely you will be investing in a condo in SRP right now. Why? Because just like Makati, owners of very good condos in Makati right now are converting their units into residential hotels. They're marketing it through Airbnb. Okay? And they are asking for a daily rate for their condos. So if you go for daily rates, would you imagine what will be your ROI? You're not just getting 12%. Probably you're getting 80 to 20% ROI. Hi. Good evening. So Sayang, ako kadumog sa starting. Okay? So, incremental property value. Talk about SRP. We are now at 129%
What
per
is
year.
129%?
From 9 years ago, of 9,500 pesos to now 120,000 pesos. And that came out in the newspapers. If SRP will become the next Bonifacio Global, you know how much is the market value of Bonifacio Global right now? It doesn't fall below 1 million per square. And SRP is still at 120,000 pesos per square. It's still a long way to go. Even if you're talking about 129% incremental property value every single year, it is still a long way to go for the property price in SRP to match the real value if it's going to be Makati or Bonifacio Global later on. So, if you are a condo unit inside SRP, what will happen to you? Your property price will also increase. And that's the reason why Amalfi increase in property value right now, as we speak, is pegged at 11 to 12% per annum. It's even higher than a pre-selling condo. So if you're an investor, would you buy something that's still pre-selling? A 10% increase? Or would you rather buy a ready for occupancy unit increasing at 11 to 12%? Very simple comparative. Now, let's talk about condo inside SRP. Is it okay if you buy any condo inside SRP? Is it the same? Will it have the same increase in property value? Probably not. Why? Because it also matters whether the project is low dense or high dense. What is high dense? If there's plenty of units inside one building, that's high density. Or if the building is about 15 to 25 stories high, that's high density. But if it's low density, chances are there are only 21 units sharing on one floor, and there are only 5 floors. And 60% of the total space is dedicated for open spaces, parks, playgrounds. That is low density. Why is it very important for you to offer low density? Especially during pandemic, people are afraid right now in Horizons 101. Why? Every time you ride an elevator, you are with so many people. If it's low dense, chances are, every time you ride an elevator, there's only one of you. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you know what? In SRP, probably in the near future, there will be plenty of condos here. There will be condo in SM, there will be condo in Ayala, probably in Robinsons also, you'll never know. But what's the difference? Only Amalfi can give you low dense category. When Amalfi was constructed, the price here was still at 9,500 pesos per square meter. If right now a developer will develop a condo here in SRP, it would be very impractical for the developer to build a 5-story tower. Why? Because the price of the property here, land in SRP, is already at 120,000 pesos per square. You cannot recover your income if you only build 5 stories. You have to build a high-rise tower. In short, probably Amalfi will be the last building that is 5 stories high in the whole of SRP. Okay? So, if you don't buy an Amalfi right now, chances are you'll be buying a high-dense condo project in the near future. Another qualification why buyers invest is what you call low capital outlay. Of course, all of us wants to go to a garden sale, mag-sale ang Zara, mag-sale ang Louis Vuitton, mag-sale. No? Pero kung na-sale, di ba ganahan ka mong pila? Lalo na makikita na 70% discount. Sus, kanay sa 30% na bayaran na to. Right? In real estate, have you heard about condos? Condos that's 50% discount. Mga ba? Nabumoy na nunggan na? Wala? Oh. Never can you find
Reservation.
condominium, brand new, less 50% discount. Or probably house and lot less 50% discount. Have you heard? Of course not. But what if I tell you that tonight, there's a big chance for you to buy an Amalfi at less than half of its price. Would you buy?
Yes.
It's true. I'm not joking. You can buy an Amalfi at less than half of its price. I'll give you an example. This did not happen with Amalfi alone. It happened also with other developers like primary homes. Primary homes, whenever they develop a project, a subdivision, they immediately construct all the houses. Di ba? Kapantay mo sa primary homes, mga royal palms, mga Collingwood, okay? They develop all houses. And there are different types of houses that they develop. Bungalow type, they have two-story houses, and sa two-story houses, napagin sila medium size, napagin sila large size. No, they call it Turiano for bungalow, and then they call it Palacios Grandes for the two-story, and then for the biggest, they call it Hermoso Grande. What's the price range? For bungalow, probably you have a chance to buy it at 3 million and above. For the two-story houses, probably you can buy it at 5.2 to 5.8 million. They developed the same kind of project in Panglao, Bohol. So, siguro mo lang ganun investment sa Panglao, Bohol, ganun sa Cebu. Isn't it? Of course, when they developed the project, what happened is that only the Doriano type bungalow house were sold. Ang mga two-story houses were not sold. Why? Because nobody can afford 30,000 monthly installment. Not many can afford to buy 30,000 pesos installment, monthly installment in Bohol. Especially in Panglao. Not many can afford. The primary homes, probably they borrow their funds for development, they need to pay finance charges to the borrowed money for development. So they need to convert the house into sales. They need to convert that into cash, okay, in order to cut the losses. So what did they do? Out of desperation, they offer their 2-bedroom units on lease purchase. Rent to own. Nakagawa mo rent to own? Pero rent to own, ubayad lang ka o 3 months security deposit, 2 months advance, pwede na ka move in, right? And then, magbayad na lang ng monthly na 30,000. And all of your payments can be converted into your purchase. Payment of your purchase later on, should you decide to buy. That's rent to own. What happened? Still, nobody wants to buy. Why? It's still 30,000 monthly. But then, something came up. What came up? Nahuman ang Panglao International Airport. Di ba? Pagkahuman sa Panglao International Airport, syempre, expected na budaghan ang tourists. And surely, kung budaghan ang tourists, daghan ang umabang. Right? Kung budaghan ang umabang, asa ba sila umabang ang mga foreigners? Sa gagmay na house or sa dagko? Sa dagko, because they can afford. Right? So, we made an experiment. We invested in one property, okay, purchased 1 unit, paid 150, good for 5 months man, times 30,000. Paid 150,000, furnish it for another 400,000. So how much do you spend? Maybe about less than $500,000. Okay, 150 plus 400, that's 550,000. Slightly more than half a million. After that, before nahuman ang furnishing, there's already a long line of foreign renters, mga foreigners. Nagpila sila kay Muabang. How much is the rental rate? 35 to 40,000 monthly for long term. Long term na ha, kung mag-isip ka short term na daily, you can earn 50 to 60,000 in a month. Let's just talk about long term to simplify. 35,000 minimum. How much are you paying monthly? 30,000. The moment you lock in the rental for 1 year, you are not paying the developer for the next 1 year. Isn't it? In short, at the end of the day, the unit will help pay for itself, and you will only be able to pay less than 50% of the total price. Do you want that kind of a deal? If you have the money, and if you have this opportunity, would you like that? Huh? Okay. Because tonight, would you believe, Amalfi is also being offered exactly just like Royal Homes. You have the opportunity to buy an Amalfi, move in by only paying 2.5% with bank letter guarantee, and use that unit rate. How much is your monthly for the promo tonight? Your monthly probably will only be about 30,000 pesos. Am I right, Jess? 30 ba? For a 2-bedroom unit? Where's Jessica? Is it? Nabay magtubag na po. Is it 30 monthly for the equity over the next 24 months? Okay. That's 31. 36. Your monthly for the next 24 months will be 36,000. How much is the rental rate here in Amalfi right now? Without the pandemic before, this unit in Amalfi, the smallest, already paid about 45,000 pesos monthly. Probably during pandemic, worst case scenario, offer your unit for 30. Which is, by the way, still almost the same as the amount of installment you're paying Filinvest over the next 3 years. Can you imagine that? This is the kind of opportunity that we want to offer you tonight. Because you are given the privilege to pay only 10% equity, spread it over the next 24 months, and the next 90% will be bank financed. For you to appreciate what this promo is all about, let me tell you this. Here in Cebu and anywhere else, if the project is already ready for occupancy, chances are, number one, you will be required to pay 20% equity, right? The bank will finance 80%. But this time, you are given the opportunity to pay 10% equity only. And number two, if it's ready for occupancy, chances are your equity will be spread in max 3 months only under normal circumstances. Maximum 3 months for your equity. But this time, your equity is spread back to 24 months as if the project is not yet ready for occupancy. As if the project is still pre-selling. Very rare opportunity. Okay? This kind of an offer is like telling you, Amalfi right now is less than 50% discount. It's the same as that. Mind you, after this pandemic, you will never see Filinvest offering this kind of a big promo ever. Only now. And this promo is only up until the end of this month, starting tonight. tonight until the end of this month. Okay? So I hope all of us will be able to appreciate this once in a lifetime, very rare opportunity to invest in Amalfi. Okay? Okay. Now I won't be using all of my presentation tonight. Okay? But I'll just give you an idea how SRP was formed. Kung saan may mga projects karon nga isugan sa Robinson, sa Ayala, Pasn, Filinvest, for you to have an idea kung saan itsura sa SRP, once all of these projects are completed. Okay? Probably some of you have seen this master plan somewhere, maybe online or maybe in the newspapers. Nevertheless, let me present to you these projects. And another 10.6 hectares of retail and commercial strip. Okay? The retail and commercial strip is called Il Corso. And this one is called, the whole project is called City de Mare. Okay? Here is where SM is located. 30.4 hectares big. But SM is not just a mall. There's a reason why it's called SM Seaside City, because it's a city. Here is the property purchased by SM and Ayala. Okay? They're going to develop this into another Makati type. This property is also purchased by Filinvest to be developed into the next cyber zone of Cebu, similar to Asian Town Park. Okay? And this triangular small lot over here is called NU Star. That property developed by Robinsons. No? Wala na of Singapore. Casino Hotel. Paspas kayo yung development, right? Okay. So, let's take a look at the master plan of these 4 projects. Let's start with Filinvest City de Mare. This is the master plan of City de Mare. So you may be surprised. Right now, you're only seeing Amalfi here and Sanremo here. But the rest of the projects of Filinvest, if you notice, these are all high-rise towers already. So you can see, this is 5 stories high, 60% open space. But after this, all projects will already be high density because the price right now is very high. Try to appreciate. Look at the picture. How City de Mare. Pasn Seaside City. Look at this project. This is the mall, but it will be surrounded by high-rise towers. And it is a city in itself. Imagine that once everything is completed. And connect this 2 projects with the Ayala project right beside SM Seaside City. Can you imagine now? Every project is big ticket project. That's right. On its own, every project is already a city by itself. Again, imagine that. If you see here, that is going to be the biggest arena, probably arena in the Philippines to be placed right beside SM Seaside Cebu. Just like MOA in Manila. 16,000 seating capacity. Can you imagine? And then, connected to the Robinsons project, New Style. This is how it's going to look. Exactly. Just like Singapore. So now you have an idea how SRP will form. Just yesterday, it came out in the newspaper that the fourth bridge is already approved in terms of budget. And I budget from Sept for the fourth bridge. You know where it will land? Ano was it? Huh? You're familiar with Island Mall, Canas Robinsons in Mactan? Right beside Canas Yacht Club? That is where the fourth bridge will land. And then, sa Mandawi side is along one street. Okay? That is already approved. And because of that, you know what will happen? Ito ba ng corner, murahin mo para sa airport? That corner is going to be developed into another mega city. Can you imagine? Elsewhere in Cebu, gusto mo maniwag pag-usapin kita mo. So that you'll be excited to really invest in properties now. Okay, elsewhere in Cebu, what's happening? Of course, we already have Cebu Ocean Park. It's already operating. We're just waiting for the sharks to grow big. So what else? The third bridge. It's already connecting right now. Di ba? Kita mo? It's already connecting. What will be its impact on SRP? It means many of the expats of many big corporations will start relocating in SRP. Why? Because you have direct access already to the airport. This bridge will give you the direct access to the airport. What else? This is already obsolete because nasumpay na eh. Bahala na picture. Okay, this one, just try to present to you a very wild imagination. Because you know SRP is surrounded by canal, di ba? SRP is not attached to the mainland. So there is now a concept of converting the canal into one like Venice. Probably as of now, this is still a dream. But you never know what will happen next. The thing is, it's a big possibility considering that really there is a canal surrounding SRP. So probably this will happen. Can you imagine if that will happen? Huh? Yeah. If that happens later on, you would love to stay in Cebu already. You know kasi among Chan, di ba i-feature Japanese newspaper? Si among Chan wants to convert Mactan into one like Japan. Nananong na sila karoon of cherry blossoms. So that one day, you don't need to go to Japan anymore to watch Sakura. Just go to Mare. Okay? Okay, this is also another project that we are waiting. This is the monorail. Okay? Monorail is already approved by NEDA. Okay? Monorail is an overhead train track side by side with BRT, bus rapid transit system. Okay? So, this is the concept. There you go. And then export everything, including the RT. But this will be pursued. Okay. So elsewhere in Cebu, you will find Mandani Bay in North Reclamation area. It's also a big project in Pangasinan. I'm just showing you how Cebu will transform 5 to 10 years down the line. What else? Robinsons. Have you noticed? It's not just a mall. Right now, there are 5 towers, probably thing altogether at the back. What more? Are you familiar with the Great Wall? Right at the back of SMCT, Cebu? The old macro before, now hypermarket. Across that is this project of Ayala and Oasis. In fact, right now you can already see this tower already constructed. This will be the location of the third Ayala Life malls. Okay? That's the Great Wall. What else? Of course, Cebu Park District is now reshaping. Why do you say reshaping? Because they're merging Cebu Business Park and Asian IT Park under one master plan. Right now, Ayala is positioning itself to be the reigning central business district. But they know that SRP will be competing against Ayala soon. So that's the reason why they're incorporating Cebu Business Park and National IT Park into one concept. They call it Cebu Park District. And they made a new logo for it. Di ba? Makakita mo yung logo? Sa Asian IT Park, you will see this right at the gate entrance. And then sa Ayala, you also see this in their banners. What is that? That's a merging, a synchronicity of Cebu Business Park, Asian IT Park. And they have plans to connect Cebu Business Park with Asian IT Park. Okay? They have plans. Of course, we're not divulging this now. But you will see, they're very aggressive in Cebu Business Park right now. And they're also very aggressive developing Asian IT Park right now. The second Ayala Life Mall is already operational. Still more, you have Emerald Bay. You've heard about this Emerald Bay Mountain. Again, project stalled because of the pandemic, but this is designed to be the Las Vegas of Cebu. Very beautiful casino resort hotel. You've heard about Mare. What is that? This is in Manila. 100 hectares big city project of Cebu Landmasters Inc. Asa man yung bit? This is in Manila. Unahan lang dire sa SRP. Unahan sa SRP, may more na. Okay. Plus, of course, we already have Cebu Safari to attract tourists. That's why we are experiencing traffic congestion right now. Which is, by the way, if you are an investor, this is a very good sign. Why? It means the economy is growing, and what will happen next? Infrastructure. We will be like Hong Kong or Japan now. Why? Because after traffic congestion comes efficient mass transport system. That is the answer to the increasing problem of traffic. So let's try to check. Cebu is now the recipient of a very huge infrastructure budget, starting with the airport. Diba? Nanatay International Airport Terminal 2. And that is increasing passenger traffic from 4.5 to 12 million passengers. In fact, in 2013, oh sorry, 20, I'll just cut this short, okay, in 2019, we already reached 13 million passengers. Okay? There you go. So this is the first major infrastructure project introduced in Cebu. Then we have Cebu Monorail. This is actually part of what we call Cebu Integrated and Intermodal Transport System, or CIITS. CIITS is actually the merging of all mass transport systems that the government is planning to deploy in Cebu. Okay? So, part of it is monorail. There are two lines that the government will initially develop. One is a 17-kilometer Cebu Central line, which will span from Manila to Dinao. The second is a 9-kilometer Cebu Airport line from Cebu International Airport to Country Mall with an interchange station. So the first two lines that we will be expecting for Cebu Monorail. Okay. Another one is bus rapid transit system. If you're familiar, this is similar to Hong Kong. Those big, huge buses flying in the middle of the road, run by electricity. One ang Cebu bus, one ang bus rapid transit. We're also going to deploy bus rapid transit system in Cebu. In fact, right now, kung matanaw mo sa mga roads, especially in this area, makikita mo ng mga markings, road markings, +3, +1.5. That is already being surveyed for the road expansion to pave the way for bus rapid transit system. They're already starting to implement this project. Okay? In fact, nag-feel naman sa huge buses. Kita mo na, kasi nga na naman ng big buses ka rin. Hindi ba yung bus? May isa ko doon. Kaya ko sa ninyo, C-bus. Kaya C-bus. Kita mo na C-bus. That is actually a prototype. Muna ilang pang practice for the bus rapid transit. Okay? Okay, so the bus rapid transit is expected to carry some 330,000 passengers per day on a 23-kilometer route. It will feed 176 high-quality buses in 33 stations. Okay? So, this is what we're talking about. Cebu Integrated and Intermodal Transport System. If you see this black line, this will be the first MRT monorail line. Okay? Spanning from Dinao going towards Manila. Another line from the airport going towards Country Mall. And there's going to be an interchange. Interchange means magtakbo ang mga stations. This green line is your bus rapid transit system. Okay? And another extension from SRT going towards Talisa. That's the initial line for BRT. So if you take a look at the road, you will find the monorail transit in the middle, the bus rapid transit on the sides, and the rest of the vehicles on the farther side of the road. That is the integrated and intermodal transport system. Okay. Plus, on top of that, the government right now, through the DPWH, has already completed this Mandawi City Consolacion de Luan Bypass Road that traverses from Pier going towards the coastal area of Mandawi, going towards Lansaga Bridge, directly linking the Luan. Diba? Existing na rin? Okay. But this one is still not completed as of now. It's almost complete, but the road is now being cemented and widened. In between is an interchange going to the new Cebu International Container Port Our routine report right now will be transferred to the new one. So that will also decongest traffic. And you have heard about Metro Cebu Expressway. Pero money, no? But you cannot see this yet as of now because it's still located on the back portion of the main road. But this is already ongoing. 73.75 kilometers long from Naga going towards the Now. If right now it takes you about 3 hours and a half travel time, this will cut travel time from Naga to the Now by 1 hour and 25 minutes. So if you're familiar with NLEX, SLEX, we will also have our own Metro Cebu Expressway for the very first time. Quite exciting, isn't it? Let's take a look at the progress of this project. So this will traverse from Naga Main Road going towards the Now. This is so far the development status of it. Pasn. Okay, so many exciting things going on in Cebu. So I wouldn't be discussing about island connectivity anymore. This is a very ambitious project of the government. So all of these infrastructure projects have tremendous positive effects on real estate. In fact, if you take a look at the effects of these projects in terms of real estate, I cannot even give you a detail one by one because it's too long. But in terms of quantity of residential, commercial, hotel rooms, everything is increasing in Cebu. Okay? Case in point, there are other reasons why Cebu is now the center of development in the Philippines. Okay, we are highly accessible, regional hub for ASEAN, second largest economy in the Philippines. Beaches are 30 minutes away. We are the next biggest thing in the Philippines right now, driven by tourism, ICT, and manufacturing sector. In terms of real estate, we are increasing. Real estate is increasing by an average 38% growth over the last 5 years, 6% growth in terms of condos. Good evening. And our rental rates here are increasing even higher than Cebu. Okay. But when will the good times last? Yes, real estate is constantly growing. Of course, considering the pandemic, things are stalled, but it doesn't mean it will not continue to increase. It goes with the motion, movement of our economic growth. Real estate is the barometer of an economy. If the economy goes up, real estate goes up. Okay, so what is causing the increase in our real estate growth right now, or economic growth for that matter, but particularly in real estate growth? Very briefly, just for you to know, because we will be investing millions. What will happen to my money 5 years down the line? Remember the US recession in 2008? When people invested in properties, they next found out that the value of the property decreased by more than 50%. We need to take a look at the prospect of what's going to happen if should we invest right now. So, the growth is driven by 3 major drivers: improving fiscal and economic conditions, rapid rise in US dollar remittance, and sustained fast growth of IT service industry. Just know that if these 3 drivers are bound to increase, then your real estate investment is bound to grow. Very briefly again, very objective, minus the pandemic, look at how our GDP is growing. This is during the pandemic. That's why it's shaded gray, because this is not the basis of how we will look at real estate forecast. Recent, the most recent, few quarters before the pandemic, look at your GDP rate, very stable outlook. Of course, discount the fact that we are in pandemic. But just today, the United Nations Conference for Trade and Development has released information that until when will this pandemic negatively affect our economy? Of course, we need to look at the global economy first before we will know what will happen to the Philippines, because everything is interconnected, right? According to UN, CTAD, just this year, we have bounced back already, because our benchmark is the global index for 2016 at 2019, yung mga pinaka-losing global growth, right? So that is our benchmark. Where are we heading right now? From a very huge drop of 3.5%. This year, we are now slowly bouncing back to that ideal index by about 5.3%. By next year, we will start to stabilize global economy by about 3.5% every single year. So we are now on our way to bouncing back in terms of the global index. At that rate, probably you can safely say that latest 2030, we will be hitting once again the rosy picture that we hit during the 2016 to 2019 index. That is the forecast of global economists. But some cities will be able to bounce back sooner, and some cities will be able to bounce back later. Okay? Inflation rate, of course, it's expected during pandemic. Inflation rate will really go up. But under normal circumstances, it never increased more than 3%. According to central bank, if your inflation rate plays between 3 to 4%, you are still stable. Okay. And Standard & Poor's categorized our Philippine economy at BBB positive with a positive outlook. What is that? We are 2 notches higher from an investment grade. Kung igraduhan pa ka sa eskwelahan, kung ang passing rate is 80, naata sa 2 notches higher than 80. That's the meaning of this. This is very important because this is the basis of international investors who invest in our country. Okay. As a matter of fact, our foreign direct investment is already increasing from 1 billion in 2010 to 9.8 billion in 2018. What about 2019? So if you look at 2019 and 2020, you total this, that's close to 10 billion already. And our OFW remittances, the second driver, continues to move up from 7.2 billion to now 28.9 billion in 2018. What about 2019 and 2020? 33.2 billion in 2020. Can you imagine? At the height of the pandemic, our OFWs are getting 33.2 billion in total remittance in 1 year. Why is this very important? Compute 30% of that. That is the amount of money that will be invested in real estate. So, convert that to pesos, you're looking at half trillion peso investment every single year coming from OFWs that will be going to real estate. Half trillion is like 500 billion. That's why if you ask Filinvest, Ayala, Robinsons, who is the biggest market right now for real estate investment? OFWs. In fact, 60% of the sales of all developers comes from OFWs. Because of this. That's why real estate is having a robust growth because of that crisis. And business process outsourcing too. You go to Asian IT Park right now. How many high-rise buildings can you see because of BPO? A lot. Mga sky-rise, di ba? So because of BPO, this will trigger demand for expansion of malls, 24-hour convenience stores, expansion of camping wellness facilities, and residential condos. That's why there's plenty of residential condos right now. Sprouting. And you try to look around. Tanawan ng kitsa itong mga audience ko na. How many are young? Pila? Can you say that majority of us right now here are young people?
Yes.
Can you say that? Why? Because we are now a country with a population with majority that are young. Our median age is 23 years.